It's October, and I know the surprise. I'm Michael Smerconish in Philadelphia. The final day of voting is 4 weeks from Tuesday. And even without my showing you the latest polling, you already know the state of play. While Vice President Kamala Harris has a slight edge over former President Trump in the popular vote, the 7 widely recognized battleground states are within the margin of error. This after a long, strange trip in which nothing has moved the nation from an intractable divide. When it began, there was a lot of talk about a third-party factor, but they couldn't find a ticket to meet the moment. And the fresher face from Florida never got the traction that some had anticipated. So Trump cruised to the nomination without ever having to debate his opponents, and was actually bolstered by 4 indictments and suffered no setback among Republicans even after being convicted. The general election field then took shape. Age was immediately a factor. The only thing these candidates could agree on was to debate at the start of summer and not at the end. It didn't go well for Biden. He yielded to pressure to step aside. Talk of a quick competition yielded to a coronation. The torch quickly passed. Another debate was soon scheduled with a clear Harris victory. And now the race returned to where it first began, a deadlock, which is the biggest surprise of all, that despite a storyline that, if pitched in Hollywood, would have been rejected as too fantastical, nothing has really moved the needle. Which brings me to October. The longshoreman strike has been suspended, but there's still war in the Middle East, war in Ukraine, the aftermath of a devastating hurricane, and the yet-to-be-determined impact of an 11th-hour legal filing by the special counsel. Plenty of time for events we could never forecast to unfold, featuring people whose names we might not even know, and maybe even their pets. Anybody remember Kristi Noem's dog, Kristi Noem's goat, Bobby's brainworm, Bobby and the bear, Bobby and the whale, J.D. Vance and the childless cat ladies, and of course the unsubstantiated claim of eating dogs and cats in Springfield. You can't make this stuff up. But here's the lesson. Yesterday on my SiriusXM radio program, Professor Alan Lichtman, he with those 13 keys that allow him to predict the election winner, this year he says it's Harris. Well, here's what he said about an October surprise.
One of the greatest myths of American politics is the October surprise. I have never changed my prediction in response to an October surprise because the keys gauge the big picture of incumbent governance and strength and don't sway by the events of the campaign.
Right. In 40 years, he's never changed a prediction, and he's called them correctly in 9 of the last 10 elections. The October surprise is that there will be noise, but there will be no surprise.